What's going on, everybody? This is Raw Dog Sports. I am Mike. That is Evo. Good afternoon. And man, I am ready for a hell of a show. If you guys, that movie quote, I know it's very, very random. Christmas season is here. And I normally don't fuck with musicals. But the Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell Christmas musical, I don't remember what the fuck it's called. But it's
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, dude, it's really good. I actually don't even like Christmas movies, but this one I fuck with for sure. Spirited is what it's called. It's on Apple TV. Fantastic. We watched that shit this morning before we got the morning started. Graydon had a little bit of wrestling, and then it started to snow and things got crappy. Everybody's home now, but my man, Evo, brother, how are you doing? We've got a busy show, 15 games to pick today.
Bye weeks are over.
Yeah, bye weeks are over, man. And it's well, no, this is the last week of bye weeks, right? If we got 15 games.
Let me double check.
Oh, no, we do have, nope, you're right. Bye weeks are over.
over.
The 16th game was on Thursday, and I completely fucking forgot. So yeah, we got a full goddamn slate, man. How you doing? Your boys came out firing last week. They got an interesting game this week. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Lots of scuttlebutt around my Minnesota Vikings still with quarterback talk. Some interesting quarterback talk about getting a new one in potentially next year. Someone who might become available, which is just entirely too titillating to not think about. But I know I'm a JJ McCarthy truther. I think that he could be good, but also if you potentially have an opportunity to get a generational, like top 3 quarterback in, then that would be pretty cool. Talking about no one in particular, of course. But yeah, look, I'm excited to get into some football. Did a little bit more looking into all the games this week prior to the show, and it's an exciting week for sure, an interesting one. Some of our common tropes of thinking that, you know, Vegas is doing some weird stuff tend to show up in a couple of these games to me. And it'll be interesting to see if you feel the same way and if we end up riding with Vegas or going against what Vegas is telling us to do.
Yeah, it'll be very, very interesting because some of these lines, I agree, did not make 100% sense. Now, some injury updates, which we'll talk about. We're going to push some lines in different directions, but there are some very, very interesting lines this week, especially as it relates to the way the odds work. And once again, hey, everybody who watches this on Vertical, we're going to give you guys a little bit of shine, a little bit of time right here with both of our faces. We'll give it just a little bit of time out in the wide shot. Keep your boner down, Evo, and then after a minute here, we'll change it back. Once again, StreamYard still has not updated the best way on how to use the vertical stream. So this is the only way you can see both of us vertical, but I don't love it when in the landscape. So with that, we can stop talking about the layout of this motherfucker. We got a lot of football to get into, my man. Thursday night game. We ready to recap it?
Yeah, let's get into it. It's one that we both had picked Tampa Bay on the money line to win. And it was close. It was close to being a Tampa Bay money line win there. And then the Falcons decided to put up 15 points there in the fourth quarter. We got to see classic Kirk O'Chains just balling out.
You like that?
And, an untimely interception from Baker, kind of the slump of things that he's been in. It just feels like the Mecca connection is not as strong as it was earlier in the year. It was nice to see Mike Evans back out there and contributing. and doing good things. But the, Bucks were definitely steady Eddie in this game. They scored 7 in the first quarter, 6 in the second quarter, 7 in the third quarter, and 8 in the fourth quarter. But it wasn't enough to stop the comeback from this Falcons team, primarily led by Pitts, who in a contract year decided, I'm going to live up to my first round grade and put up one hell of a fucking game.
Yeah, I mean, 11 catches, 166, 3 touchdowns. And when you're watching the game, he looked like he was in it. He was in flow state, man. The routes were just crisp. Everything about the way he looked did not remind me of rookie Kyle Pitts. We saw a guy who was actually more polished, played a damn good game. And obviously he has tremendous physical traits. That's what got him drafted where he got drafted. So starting to kind of put that all together is cool to see. I'm sure fantasy lovers are finally like, thank God fucking Kyle Pitts didn't fuck me, because now you got Kyle Pitts probably in like round 7 or 8, if not later.
Oh yeah. Well, look, there's been talk every year in fantasy football. This could be Kyle Pitts' year where he develops and he becomes what he could have been when he came out from college. I'm going to do a throwback here to another NFC South team, a Marquez Colston, who came in as a wide receiver to the league, a no-name wide receiver, and a tight end, and ended up becoming a wide receiver, just one of those really big body wide receivers. He slimmed down a little bit, but he had the physical traits of a wide receiver just in a larger frame. And it was just such a mismatch for people that he was dominant for his time that he was in the league. And Kyle Pitts has that same sort of build. Big, larger than a wide receiver, where you can't call him a wide receiver, but he absolutely plays just like a wide receiver, a big body wide receiver. And he fit directly into that Drake London role where you wouldn't know that they were two different people, or at least two different positions, based on the play that we saw. That was exactly the type of role that Falcons have used Drake London in all year. He's the big body guy, finding open space. Like he was getting into the open spaces and zones, especially on longer developing plays deep downfield. And then he's just able to use his much larger size than those defensive backs and completely control that area. Get the ball, huge gains. Just a monster game for Kyle Pitts. I'm happy for him that he finally started to show something, and hopefully this can become more consistent, because look, this year has been his best year to date. He has looked very good. This was like his coming out game, because it was the highest scoring game in fantasy, at least by a tight end, since 2000. It was incredible to see him go out there and perform just like a wide receiver. Now, can the Falcons find a way to leverage that capability that they know that he has there, especially once you get a Drake London back out there on the field, because that's dangerous. And again, Kirk Cousins, good game by him. It was vintage, high-end Kirk Cousins. That could earn him another job as a starter, at least a bridge in the very near future. Obviously, he's starting this year. There's been lots of talks about should the Falcons offload his contract. But sooner or later, they got to shit or get out the pot with what they're going to do with Penix. And Kirk Cousins isn't going to be the answer. Do you really want to keep around a $55 million backup plan? Because that's what Kirk's going to be. If they were to cut him this offseason, they are going to take something like a $50 million dead cap hit or something like that, but they are going to be better off in the long run by moving on from him, and another team absolutely could use him. But I don't think any team at this point is going to trade for him unless it's just a meager pick. But the contract is not permissible to a trade. So it's going to make sense for both parties to separate this offseason. And you could see, based off of performances like on Thursday night, Kirk Cousins getting himself another starting job.
Hey, I don't know who's really going out there to look to sign up for Kirk Cousins as their starter. Now it'd be somebody who's looking for a bridge, but there are so many younger guys right now who are potentially going to be available as bridge quarterbacks. I mean, fucking Tua, Kyler Murray. I mean, there's
an interesting conversation to be had here, and not a decent or not a terrible bridge for me to kind of get into talking about my team a little bit. But obviously, there's been a lot of talk with the Minnesota Vikings about JJ McCarthy's performance this year. How long can they wait? Can they sustain going into next season without at least a competition at quarterback, or without bringing someone else in that could possibly take that starter role if JJ doesn't look to have some sort of progression in the offseason or through these last 4 games? And while I am a JJ McCarthy truther, I also realize that it is unsustainable to have the ups and downs that we've seen from him this year. Even if he takes steps forward, you look at the NFC North right now, and he still would be ranked as the last quarterback, even if he takes steps forward. Jordan Love, Jared Goff, and Caleb Williams are all performing at a higher level. All those rosters in the NFC North are pretty damn good right now, including the Vikings roster. But if we're not getting the quarterback play, it's going to be tough to be regularly competitive within that division. So you need to at least bring in some sort of competition for him. Mac Jones gets thrown around a lot, and I understand it. He had a good run there with San Francisco this year. My fear is that he's going to cost too much because he is on a 2-year contract. So he's still under San Francisco team control going into the offseason. And it would not be unlike Shanahan to look to get as much out of Mac Jones as possible by trading him. I feel like a 3rd round pick makes sense there right now. And that's what a lot of people are talking about the going rate being. But if desperation hits, you might be able to work that into a 2nd round pick, which scares me. I don't want Mac for a 2nd round pick personally. And he's probably the best bridge option out there. I mean, I went through on the X machine today and made a post about different possible options for the Vikings because Vikings fans have been combing. Who could we have come in as our new Sam Darnold, our new Daniel Jones? Well, Daniel Jones might be an option because he just had surgery on his Achilles from rupturing it this year. He'll be back around training camp time, but are the Colts going to be willing to offer him up a large contract like he probably earned from his play this year? I don't know. Like, they might have to look to move somewhere else, or it could become a competitive market for him. Whereas before, if the market became somewhat competitive, they would just franchise tag him. Now, I don't know if you can franchise tag a guy because you're going to be paying him like $40 million a year, and you don't know what you're going to have with that Achilles. So, that's someone that I would be willing to bring in as a Vikings fan. But beyond that, I don't know if Tua is going to leave. Like, I think he should. I think McDaniels should probably go. But the way the Dolphins have been performing, they might run it back again. Kyler Murray, I don't know if I want him. You're looking at least a 2nd round pick to trade for him. And the results from him have been very diminishing, also injury plagued. And outside of that, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a free agent. Kirk Cousins may be a free agent if they cut him. Joe Flacco, if he decides to play another year.
Hey, listen, there's always fucking Phillip Rivers, baby.
That's the thing is, like, we're starting to look into the annals of time in order to find potential starting quarterbacks. Not you, fucking Cam Newton. Not you, Colin Kaepernick. Phillip frickin' Rivers. Because
you're right, Phillip frickin' Rivers.
He does not use any cuss words. Yeah. No bad words for Phillip Rivers, which is, one of the allures of him. One of his high school players said, never heard him swear, heard him say Jiminy Cricket a lot, and dang it. And those are some of his favorites. So, that'll be fun. That'll be fun to watch this weekend because Phillip Rivers has been elevated. And the last thing on my Vikings, there's been a lot of Joe Burrow talk. A lot of Joe Burrow talk because Joe Burrow had some comments after the last game about not being happy. Very Andrew Luckian of him, which would be sad to see him end his career. I was watching some podcasts in the past 24 hours. Deshaun Watson with Houston took a shitload of sacks and obviously caused him to have injury-riddled seasons, and then the rehab really got to him, which caused him to go to other teams. And then you have an Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck didn't get sacked as many times as Joe Burrow has been through the first several years of their career. And Andrew Luck called it because he just couldn't put up with it anymore. And Joe Burrow, apart from the injuries, apart from everything going on there, look at that Cincinnati franchise. Like, it's not run great. They don't have a defense. Like, he had to kind of move mountains to get ownership to re-sign T. Higgins to keep that group kind of together, but he still doesn't have an offensive line. They're not willing to shell out money to keep one of the better defensive ends in the league happy and on the team. And now Trey Hendrickson is injured.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's not looking bright there going forward. He has, on his own for the most part, dragged this team since their last Super Bowl appearance. He's dragged this team to the records that they've had, and it's putting a physical toll on his body. I get why he might not be happy anymore, and I would hope that he would be willing to not retire and would rather try to go somewhere else that would work for him. And I don't know that there's a better situation than my Vikings.
I'm sure
He
that
gets
would
to
be
go-
very nice for you. He would go from Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to Justin Jefferson. That'd be fantastic.
And Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson and
I do
Kevin
think that there's a
O'Connell.
little bit of leverage play here.
Yeah.
By him saying that, you know what, I could just call it because things are happening to my body. This is not all that dissimilar than what fucking Carson Palmer did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's very Carson Palmer-esque. And you've seen the injuries pile up. Eventually, Carson just said, fuck it, man. Like, I'm hurt. I can't play. I'm going to retire. Mm-hmm. And then they traded him, and he's like, oh, you know what? I'm pretty fucking healthy. Let's go play with the Cardinals.
Yeah, the air on the West Coast there in Oakland, that's where he went first. That's going to heal me up a little bit better than the Cincinnati air. Yeah. And then obviously had that true career resurrection there in Arizona.
I always forget that he had to stop in Oakland first.
Yeah.
I never remember that.
Because it wasn't great. It wasn't great. I mean, he had to unretire. He had to figure things out again.
Well, and I'm sure the Bengals weren't like, let's send him to a decent team. They're like, where's the shittiest place we could send this motherfucker now? Yeah.
The interesting thing too with Joe Burrow is that, players obviously, the team has control over him, but Joe Burrow's contract, while it was large, actually is very tenable right now because he's got no guaranteed money on it after, I think, 2027. And on average, I think it's like 30 mil, 25 mil per year right now, cap hits. So for a team to trade for him is definitely doable. But also Cincinnati has to keep in mind, we're about to have to look at re-signing this guy, adding more guaranteed money onto his contract to make him happy, to make him want to stay here and keep playing for us, anything like that. And we have no money. We have no defense, so we need to put money into that. We have two top-tier wide receivers that we just shelled out a shitload of money to. Like they have to find a way to balance their books as well. And if he is saying, hey, maybe I want out of here, they are going to get, if they were to trade him, the largest trade package ever in NFL history. The Herschel Walker trade and the Deshaun Watson trade will pale in comparison. 3 first-round picks is the bare minimum starting point for him. You're talking 3 firsts, possibly up to 3 seconds in a player. So if that were to happen with, say, a team like my Vikings, that's very dangerous because we just saw the implosion that happened there with your team.
When you take a swing like that and you fucking miss, it fractures your franchise for a while, and you have to build that shit back up. Like, we are just barely even scratching the surface out of getting out from fucking the Deshaun Watson decision.
Yeah. Now, there is one other recent historical move that's somewhat close to this that did work out. And it's what got us to coin the term fuck them picks. And that was the Rams moving for Matthew Stafford. They leveraged their future through saying fuck them picks for multiple different players, to include Matt Stafford. An older Matt Stafford. They moved on from Jared Goff, who had previously gotten them to a Super Bowl and lost. But they moved on him, got him, and got to the Super Bowl that year. And then they had some middling years, but now they are right back there. that team was able to execute the fuck them pick strategy flawlessly. And it was because Matt Stafford was able to still play at a high level to the point that this year he's playing at an MVP level.
Well, the people that run that organization are far better at their jobs than the people that run the fucking Bengals organization.
Yes.
Or
I thought you were going to say the Browns.
Oh, yes, also the Browns.
Hey, Cranky over there, Stan Kroenke, or however you say his name, he runs good sports organizations.
Yeah.
They got good coaching. They got good GMs. They have made the most of their picks. That's what scares me a little bit with my Vikings is while I would say, yes, absolutely pound the table. Let's leverage our entire fucking future and do this because I think that we could probably get a Super Bowl within a year or two. It would make me sad to see JJ probably have to be part of the return package. I don't know that they would be able to not give something in return quarterback wise. I would assume Jonathan Grenard or a Dallas Turner.
Defense for sure would have to.
Defensive players would go back. And those are the premier kind of defenders that we have available to send back. And then, all of our first round picks for the next 3 years. The good news is that Kwesi Adofo-Mensah can't fucking pick at all in the draft. He's fucking dog shit at it. The downside of that is our later picks, he's still dog shit at it. The ones that we would still have, he's still dog shit. And you need to be able to hit on some of those later round picks to make it worthwhile. That's what the Rams have been able to do. They've been able to pick well, develop guys of lower caliber up to good NFL starters, and they then have been able to supplement their roster. I don't know if my Vikings would be able to do that for the long term, but in the short term, it would be a hell of a lot of fun. I think we're at like a 5% chance at most right now of that happening. But yeah, that's the offseason quarterback conversation for right now. But we're gonna probably have a lot more to talk about with that once the actual NFL season ends. That's just a little bit of a sneak peek, a preview for what Raw Dog Sports has for you in the future when the NFL season is done, because our season doesn't end. We keep fucking going.
Bro, Amber was she's like, last year, you guys didn't take a fucking break at all. There was no break. Normally in the years past, like we would take a week off, kind of reset. Last year, we were like fucking right into it.
Yeah, we would have a week here, there, or a couple weeks of like, hey, we're going on vacation or something like that, things like that. But I mean, we're already starting to talk about plans for fucking Senior Bowl, brother.
Yeah. We might be going down to the Senior Bowl and fucking just doing some shit live from there. And you know what? Maybe we'll meet some cool people, some scouts, talk to some coaches,
rub some shoulders. Now the real shit.
Not like Deshaun did or whatever happened with Deshaun. We're not going to do that.
That's an interesting location for his shoulder.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Oh, or look, we're setting an even higher bar. Maybe 2026 is a Senior Bowl. 2027, we make it to the combine. If we get into St. Elmo's, like we're gonna have to find a way to get a stipend because I hear good things about the shrimp there. Okay. Super spicy shrimp and what's the red sauce fucking
cocktail?
Yeah. Shrimp cocktail. It's like $100, but it's like the best shrimp cocktail you'll have. And it's where all the NFL execs hang out. And then right around the corner out back, we can see where Mark Sanchez got fucking stabbed. So it'd be fucking great. We'll take some pictures.
Yeah. We'll do some we'll do some reenactments.
Yeah, you'll sit in a vehicle and stab me. And I was like, hey, what's going on?
I'm not going to stab anybody.
I'm butt fumble.
But Senior Bowl, I think, could be a hell of a trip, man. It'd be a lot of fun. But my man, we are about 24 minutes in. Producer Amber's like, hey, fuckers, start making picks.
She's pounding coffee. I heard that at cocoa, but
it's coffee. I had a cup of coffee myself. It's been a long day. But my man, are we ready to start diving into some picks?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. We have a fun week of picks. Dude, that's the only way to have it. We were in the Army. If it's not black and thick as mud, then
so I use creamer. I am a little bitch, but I want my coffee to still taste like coffee. So I make it really dark, like coffee, and then add a little bit of creamer, so I can still get that nice chalky coffee, but also a little bit of that sweet.
I don't mind the Frappamocha Choca Dildo Chinos.
Hell yeah.
Those are delicious, absolutely. But I will drink black coffee. My only request is that it's not burnt. Let it be thick, let it be dark. Just don't burn it. Starbucks, all their shit's too roasted. But anyways, enough from the coffee corner here at Raw Dog Sports. We're going to get into week 15 and the rest of these games. And we're going to start off.
Hey, Black Rifle Coffee, veteran organization. If they want to be a sponsor, this and that, I drink a shit out of coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee's delicious too, but I don't know if you've ever had it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've had the K-Cups. I've had the regular, blend up your own beans. And we actually have bags of it right now in our flight up section next to the coffee pot that I bought because, we're American patriots and we like good coffee.
Fuck yeah. Anyways, sorry.
Clip it. Send it to Black Rifle.
Send it to Black Rifle Coffee Company.
All right. But we'll get into our first game. Now, for anyone that's tuning in that maybe hasn't watched us before, we get all of our lines off of FanDuel in the moment as we're doing the show live. So we have to go off of one source. That's the one that we happen to use because we don't have a sponsor right now. But if anyone wants to sponsor us, we are fucking open. We are ready to slut ourselves out. But our first game here, New York Jets and the Jacksonville Jaguars down in Florida. The line right now, Jacksonville, minus 13.5 and minus 120 odds, over under of 41.5. And you might say, damn, that's a huge line for two teams that just a couple years ago were dog shit. Well, one of them is still dog shit. And that team also is starting a rookie quarterback this week in Brady Cook. And if you say, who the fuck is Brady Cook? I did the same thing. I had to look him up. Rookie out of Missouri. And so maybe he's got the juice. Probably not. And that's probably impacting this gigantic spread that we're looking at here. Mike, where are you going out of this game?
So when I was originally looking at this, it's like, I'm fucking taking the Jets plus 13.5. And then I was reminded by producer Amber of the injuries that took place and who was going to be starting that game. And Brady Cook does not inspire confidence. Undrafted rookie quarterback does not inspire in a lot of confidence on a Jets team going against the Jags team that we have said plays, I guess, much better than we expected. We still don't think that they're good necessarily, but they're better than the bad teams, but they're not good. They're not as good as the good teams. They're like that fucking middle ground team, and they've had a nice, easy schedule. So I think they get a dub here. Can't drop that many points, and I certainly can't trust Brady Cook to cover 13.5 because I have no idea what the fuck that kid's going to do at all. So the safe play here, Jags money line.
Yeah, and I'm doing the same thing here. Look, the Jags are 9-4, currently leading the AFC South. AFC South becoming a very competitive division, one that's kind of flipped on its head because that was currently or previously led by our Indianapolis Colts that we were just super stoked about how good of a season that they were having. Thought that this was going to possibly be a chance for Indiana Jones to take them on a Super Bowl run. They're currently in third place right now. And it didn't take long for that to happen. And Houston Texans, same record as the Colts, but they technically are sitting in second place right now at 8-5, being carried on the shoulders of their defense. So the Jags really are in a spot. If they want to maintain that lead, they have to kind of keep winning because they don't have a huge lead. That's a very competitive AFC South division right now. And there's no way I can drop 13.5 points with the Jags team because, yes, they are having a good year. It's not one that I feel super faithful in, and I don't look at this Jags team if they were to get to the playoffs as being like a true contender in the playoffs. But this Jets team is pretty bad. They got moxie, but they're pretty bad. And you can't put a ton of faith in a rookie quarterback starting his first game, even if it is almost 2 touchdowns of points that you get by running with it. So, yeah, Jags money line for me as well.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, man. It's just so hard to know what any rookie quarterback is going to do, let alone one that was undrafted. But it's going to take us to our next game, a team that we were just kind of talking about. Cardinals heading down to Houston. Big spread in this one as well. Houston favored minus 10.5, over under 42.5. That Houston Texans defense is fucking spectacular. Probably the best unit in all of football right now, that defense. Cardinals have been up and down. 10.5 is a shitload. Houston has to keep winning. They need some help. They need a Jags loss at some point. I think that we're just waiting for Houston to overtake the Jags at a certain point. I don't know that I trust that Jags team as much as I trust this Houston defense. Where are you going in this one? Is Houston going to be good enough to just stomp the Cardinals, who have shown they can put up bulk stats?
That's the thing, is that the over-under in this game is 42.5. It's a little bit on the lower end of the median, which makes sense because you are going up against a really good defense there in Houston and an offense that has good playmakers, despite a shitty offensive line. And this Cardinals team, again, like you kind of said, is bulk volume stats, but I don't know if they're going to be able to put up those same sort of statistics, mostly through the air, because they don't have much of a running game there. I don't know if they're going to be able to put up those sorts of stats in order to make this even close to that over-under, which kind of leads me to think about the under. I will say, though, Arizona Cardinals, Marvin Harrison's not playing in this one. And if you watched our show earlier in the week, my off-the-hook player was Michael Wilson. He has been phenomenal this year when Marvin Harrison hasn't been playing. And so if that trend continues, he's in line to have a really good game here. But I don't know if it's enough to overcome this Texans team, specifically the defense. And so I would almost consider taking the points for the Cardinals, just because I do think this could be lower scoring, like a 10-20 game, putting us at that under mark. Safe play, though, is Houston. I feel better about Houston winning this game. I think that their defense can hold the Cardinals to that 10 to 13 point range in total scores. And Houston doesn't have to do a lot more to win. If you're holding the team under 17 points regularly as a defense, your offense doesn't have to do a whole lot to win you the game. And I think that Houston's offense can do that. This could be like a 17-13, 17 to, or 20 to 13 type of game. And so I'm not going to drop the points. I'm not going to give the points because I don't have faith in this Cardinals offense against the Houston defense. Give me Houston on the money line.
My man, I'm going to Houston on the money line as well. Everything that you said there, I 100% agree with. This Cardinals team, on top of, struggling with injuries and not having a true identity on offense, because what they have to do is just to throw the ball. And that's not because that's what they want to do. They just don't have any other fucking options. So they don't have an identity. But that defense also is pretty goddamn porous. The Houston offense hasn't been spectacular, but that Cardinals defense hasn't been good either. So everything points me to say Houston should win this thing. They could probably cover. But I'm not going to do that just because Jacoby could go out there, throw for 450 yards and 4 touchdowns. There might be 3 picks with that because he has to throw it so many times because they can't do anything else. But I'm just going to rock Houston on the money line. You had something in there. What's up?
Yeah, I was going to say the Cardinals, they basically have been playing Jacoby Brissett since, I believe, the Packers, which was 7-8 weeks ago, something like that. The strongest defense that they've gone up against was the Seahawks, and they were able to put up 22 points against them. But they've played, a good Packers defense, Cowboys defense that was still porous at the time, 49ers, Jags, Buccaneers, and Rams. There's a bunch of teams in there that have good defenses, but not like the Houston Texans. And you're talking about Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson Jr., insane pass rush. We could see a little bit of a lower game from Jacoby Brissett, especially when those defenders are going to be able to pin their ears back. So, yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, Houston money line for both of us. You ready for the next one, brother?
Absolutely. So, next game that we got up for the day, Buffalo Bills going into New England versus the Patriots. Now, this was New England last time going into Buffalo and getting a win. And that kind of sparked our whole conversation of where is New England going, and the talks about double-digit wins and things like that, that they are absolutely on pace for just a really, really good season at this point. This would be the get-back game for the Buffaloes to try to, not look as foolish as they did when the Patriots came in and beat them. Right now, line is Buffalo on the road, -1.5 points, over under of 48.5. This Patriots team is really good, dude. I like the Patriots. I do. I'm interested to see where you're going to go with this one, though.
Yeah, so the Patriots are really good, but I think that Josh Allen is really good. Josh Allen, I mean, of all the things that are
soon to be daddy, Josh Allen.
Oh, yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to Josh Allen, soon to be dad. I mean, that's got to be a big boost, but he is the most spectacular player in the league when you absolutely need somebody to take over, when you need your quarterback to take over. He's the guy that can do that. Now, Drake May's been really, really good, but this game can decide their division essentially. With the Patriots where they are, and the one win up already, a win here basically decides the division. I don't know that Josh Allen's ready to let that happen. I think Josh is going to go out there and play like a man possessed. I would not be surprised to see James Cook get in the end zone again. It's been a little while since he's been in the end zone, and he was on a tear earlier in the year. So I'm going Bills on the money line here. I like this Patriots team a lot. This is not no disparaging things to say about a very well-coached young team. I just think that Josh Allen is going to be the guy that makes it happen and get a fucking win. So, Bills
yeah. This is one where a lot of people I think are going to be on the Patriots just because of how good that they've been playing. And I really want to be. I like the Patriots in this game. I do, which is why I felt like the line was a little bit interesting. Patriots at home, currently leading that division, and they're the underdogs at home. For the Bills, they have to win this one. I know you said that you think this can decide the division, but right now Patriots have a 2-game lead on them in the division. And looking at the Patriots' rest of their schedule, they've got the Ravens, Jets, and Dolphins, all not necessarily easy wins, but winnable games. This is their toughest competition, I think, for the rest of the year until the playoffs. If the Patriots lose this one and win out, they still will take that division. But I think that the Bills are going to have that chip on their shoulder. They need to win this game to try to have a chance to win the division. And so I'm also going to be going Buffalo on the money line with this one. I came into it thinking I wanted the Patriots because I like the Patriots a little bit better right now, the brand of football that they're playing. But my gut tells me Buffalo's going to win this one. So I'm Buffalo on the money line.
There you go. Plum picks, baby. Fucking plum picks. I love it. All right, man. I'll get the next one. We are going down to where the fuck are we? We got the Chargers heading out to Kansas City. Kansas City is the favorites, -5.5, over under 41.5. And we kind of alluded to earlier, like some of these fucking lines don't make sense. Even producer Amber, when we were talking earlier, she's like, why the fuck are the Chiefs favored? And it's not even like that they're just slightly favored. 5.5. That's damn near a touchdown. Now, I understand Justin Herbert has been banged up, the hand and all of the things. I mean, he also doesn't like doing interviews, which, whatever. But
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, he fucking just played the game, got a broken hand. I get it. But this doesn't make any fucking sense to me, man. The Chiefs, I guess they're not eliminated from playoff contention. They're going to fight until the very end. We've been saying it for weeks. They're going to get a win because they absolutely need it. Is this the week, man? I can tell you right now, I don't fucking think it is. But where are you going in this?
Yeah, the line doesn't make sense to me.
Nope.
So I got to take the Chiefs.
Okay.
I'm taking them on the money line. I like the Chargers in this game. The line doesn't make sense to me. I feel like this should be closer to a push versus 5.5 spread. The Chargers are not the same Chargers that the Chiefs faced down in Sao Paulo or wherever the fuck it was. This is a different Chargers team because they are missing their tackles. They have a beat up offensive line. But Omarion Hampton wasn't the same player back there in week 1 either. He just played again last week, had a pretty solid week. I think they're going to inject him a lot more into this game plan. Rondé Gadsden wasn't the player that he was back then. There's a lot of differences, and this Chiefs team has just been underwhelming pretty much all year. I'm not going to go with some of the words that I've said in the past of like, the NFL script, NFL narrative. The Chiefs have to win to kind of keep them in, possible contention. Because whenever I say that shit, I'm always wrong. I just feel like Vegas in this one is telling us something is a muck, and they want people to be taking the Chargers plus the points here. So I'm going to be taking the Chiefs on the money line.
Okay. I am taking the Chargers plus the points. If they're going to give me 5.5, I'm going to take them. And the line doesn't make any goddamn sense. We'll see if Vegas is doing that thing again. Now, for anybody who is new tuning in, what we're talking about, we have had this running thing for it seems like a couple of years now, where we will say that a line feels off, feels wrong. Why is it this way? And Vegas almost always fucking knows something that we don't. They burn us on it all the time. That's why they have $1 million chandeliers. So Evo was saying all the great things about the Chargers and then ended up going Chiefs money line simply because he's playing the odds that Vegas probably knows more.
Yeah, I like Chargers in this game. I if this was like Chargers minus 1.5, I'd have been like, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. So I got to go the other way when it's this far fucking spread.
Yeah, so
something smells fishy.
Playing the odds.
And I'm not touching my pussy. It's Vegas.
Nice. That was good. That was very good.
Look, people, term we like to use around here, Rawthenticity. This is Raw Dog Sports. We keep it real. We keep it raw. We are unabashed with our terminology. If you have not tuned in before, that is our MO. We tell it like it is. We tell it how we see it. And we hope that you like it. And if you do, please, for the love of God, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Let your friends know about us. Check us out on the TikTok. There might be multiple Raw Dog Sports on there, but only one of them has any sort of traction, and that's your boys right here. You haven't seen the other one since week 1, and I wonder why. It's because this is the real deal.
The real deal, baby.
Real deal.
I remember when you told me that there was another Raw Dog Sports that popped up. I was like, really? Like, come on, man. Do a little looking into. Hey, you know what? Doesn't matter.
God bless those guys. You know what?
Absolutely.
We should have them on sometime.
Everybody who's tuning in now as well. And like Evo said, we are very, very raw with the things we say. If you haven't noticed, fuck is probably my favorite word. I toss that into damn near every sentence. I toss it in the middle of words, like abso-fucking-lutely. So
back a while ago when this show was under a different name before we had our kind of rebrand, the first time I believe that I was actually on the show, I said a 6-letter F word. I was getting ready to get canceled right off the rip. I was trying to be Bijan Robinson before Bijan Robinson was in the league.
Yeah.
You know?
Which, by the way, what a hilarious kind of little exchange, but also I get it. People are hurting, but that's what the game was called. I'm sorry. We were all born. We all fucking grew up in the 90s. We said shit that we weren't supposed to say. We still probably fucking say it.
I do.
Yeah.
Look, there's a big difference between saying something from a place of hate and just saying something, right? And I've had plenty of hate in my heart in previous years. Did bad things in different countries. We're veterans. We've done a lot of things. Some not so great. Some pretty good. Some patriotic as fuck. Cute eagle noises and shit like that.
Oh.
But we like to have fun here. This is a place of love. No matter how much we like to talk shit about things. And the only thing that I think that I just don't love is Aaron fucking Rodgers. He's a piece of shit scumbag. And fuck him. But beyond that.
I said that game is so far away, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't you worry.
Oh man, are we ready for the next one?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
We got the Raiders going out to Philly. Philly favorited minus 11.5. Over under low points, 38.5. Weather conditions over in this area of the country expected to be fucking miserable. I'm in my basement and I'm wearing a goddamn beanie. I mean, it's cold as fuck out here. It snowed all goddamn day. We were under lake effect snow warning still. The weather outside is frightful. There we go. It's gonna suck. So I don't know if we're gonna get much of any points. So that makes me think, oh man, maybe taking the points here is good. But then again, it's the Raiders. Where are you going?
Is it the Raiders? Not only is it the Raiders, but starting at quarterback is former Super Bowl winning quarterback, former Browns legend, Kenny Pickett. Yeah. Now, did you have a chance to kind of review this game a little bit when Kenny Pickett went in last week?
So, yeah, a little bit. Kenny looks like, I mean, I guess he's a little bit more, he seems like he's more confident when he lets the ball rip. I don't know, maybe his time in Philly and in Cleveland did him some good. But I don't know. Kenny's not a good quarterback, I don't think. We'll see what happens with Geno Smith not being in there. Let's see if the offense operates better. But do I think that anything's going to operate better with Kenny Pickett in there? No, probably not.
I do. I'm taking the points. Raiders plus the fucking points in this one. Yeah. If you're going to give me 11.5 with Kenny Super Bowl winning Pickett out there, he played in Pittsburgh for years. He knows how to deal with the weather. Looking at the weather right now, I had to pull it up real quick. There is going to be snow tomorrow morning, but it looks like it goes away at around 10 a.m. This is a game that's going to be played after that. They can have things cleared. It will be cold. It will be chilly. You have a guy in Ashton Genty that can run a little bit. It could be a Saquon type game. Dysfunction in the Eagles locker room and a team that doesn't like to blow anyone out. Eagles absolutely are capable of getting wins. That's why they are where they are right now, going to the playoffs again. But this Raiders team is eliminated. They got nothing to play for other than their future careers. Kenny Pickett is out there trying to find himself another job, despite being a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And I thought that he looked like a little bit better. He might not have been better at the stat sheet, but I thought he looked a little bit more juiceful, if you will, while he was out there playing last week. And I'm down for that. Like, this could be a really low scoring game. 38 points, 38.5. If you're going to give me 11.5 on that, against a team that doesn't blow anyone out, I'll take it. Vegas plus the points.
Okay. So I understand taking the points, especially in a low scoring game. I'm not doing it though. I don't fucking trust the Raiders at all. And I've never been a huge fan of Kenny Pickett. So I'm going Eagles money line. But I'm going to make that just very aware to everybody. If you are putting this game in a parlay, do not put Eagles money line in the fucking parlay. It's minus 1,000 odds. It's not really going to help you.
Yeah. Not even our highest money line odds of the day. Jaguars are minus 1150. Yeah. I swear there was one that was higher. Yeah, Seattle minus 12. We'll get to some of these expected potential blowouts as we get along here. And our next one up, Baltimore Ravens going into Cincinnati. This one is expected to be a little bit closer and high scoring. Over under a 50.5. Ravens are favored minus 2.5 points here. And you have sad Joe Burrow going in without T. Higgins because he's back in concussion protocol, getting 2.5 points in this one. Has the potential to be high scoring. We know that Cincinnati has no defense, and we know that their offense can absolutely put up points. We saw it last week versus the Bills. Very high scoring game. The Ravens, though, they haven't been very high scoring. That offense just lacks all of its explosiveness this year. Mike, thoughts on this one? Where are you going to be going?
I think that the situation with Joe Burrow we talked about earlier with the hinting at retirement is a bad sign about the way that things are going inside that facility, inside that locker room. It's not just Joe. The team is not performing well because one of the comments that he says in that is, I mean, we're not talking about playoffs this year. So when we kind of brought this up, why is Joe Burrow back out there? They have no shot to compete for the playoffs. It's fucking over. Their season is done. He needs to get healthy. And if you're going to go out there and play him, then you run risking injuring again. And now he's legitimately thinking about retiring. rather than maybe just using it a little bit as fucking leverage so you guys will take care of him and the team. I don't think that any of this bodes well for that Bengals franchise. They're not playing for anything, and their fucking star quarterback basically coming out and saying as much doesn't do them any favors. The Ravens have to win this motherfucker to try to get back in it with the Steelers. So I'm going to expect them to go out and do what has to be done. Harbaugh's going to find a way to rally his team and get a win. So I'm going Ravens money line here. I could even see dropping the points. I think the Bengals are in a really shit spot, and everything that's going on with the Joe Burrow conversation creates a lot of noise around that organization that they do not need right now.
Yeah, I get it. I'm leaning towards that Baltimore money line as well. The problem is, like, I don't have a lot of faith in this Baltimore team right now. Like, I was looking at the over. Like, when that happens, I don't have a faith in the team that I think probably should win this game. I start to look at that over under a little bit, and even that I'm a little bit confused about because, yeah, like, I could actually see the Bengals putting up 30 points, and then I don't know if the Ravens can. Like, they haven't been that type of team this year. We could also be looking at a situation like last year in week 5 where the Cincinnati Bengals were blowing the Ravens out of the fucking water at home, just like this game. And then the Ravens all of a sudden have this crazy comeback win in overtime, 41-38. It's just, I don't know if the Ravens have that in them this year at all. Derrick Henry's not been the same guy. Lamar Jackson hasn't been the same guy. And then last week you have just kind of a real shitty game from that Ravens team. It's sad to see because Baltimore did go into the season looking like they had one of the best rosters in the NFL. They looked poised to be right up there at the top with the Bills leading the AFC, possibly going to the Super Bowl. They're trying to backdoor their way right now into the playoffs. Yeah, I got to go Baltimore in the money line. I don't feel good about it though, and I hate that.
Understood. I mean, yeah. Listen, it is entirely possible the Bengals go and put up a shitload of points because that's what they've done. I don't trust them to win this game with all the shit going on. I don't trust the Ravens either. But I mean, week for week, we've seen that the Ravens have been a better team. When Joe Burrow came back, they put up a lot of points. They got a good win with Joe Burrow back. And then the defense went right back to doing what their fucking defense does and became a goddamn sieve, and they're losing fucking games. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. So with that, with how porous that Bengals defense is, I can't go with the goddamn Bengals. Even if Joe Burrow can put up a bunch of points. And there's a defense that can get Lamar back on right track. It's him going up against the Bengals because they will let him do basically anything he wants. So I got to go there.
Baltimore has to stop this skid. They've lost 2 in a row here. They are currently sitting at 6-7. But the Steelers are within striking range at 7-6, I guess. So, man, your division right now is wonky.
Ass.
It is weird.
Mega ass.
I'll go with Baltimore. Baltimore, I guess. Yeah. Baltimore in that money line. I don't feel great about it. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it all. Fuck it all. Bengals plus the points.
Okay.
Cincinnati plus the points. I want to see what my future quarterback can do. Next up, Washington Commanders.
Before we do that, we had a comment come in here. We'll pop it up here. Do y'all do start sit advice for fantasy? Send the players. We'll give you what we got, man.
Yeah, we definitely we don't do fantasy specific shows, though you can probably garner some of the information from what we talk about if we talk about specific players. But we actually have had people who have hit us up about start and sit advice. Send us the players that you're considering. Give us just a little bit of information, PPR, things like that, which you just did. Perfect, my man. 12-man PPR. Start who? 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver. All right, pretty standard. So who are we considering?
Is it the wide receivers that we're trying to figure out?
No, I mean, you're probably wide receivers and flex. You've got CMC, who did come down with a questionable designation right now with a back injury coming off a bye, which is always concerning. I would still expect him to play.
I would start Mahomes this week because they're going to have to throw the ball.
I don't know. Purdy's going up against the Titans.
And he won't have to do much. He won't have to do anything. I would love to tell you to start fucking Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, but sit his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker has look. Mike and I both have Walker on team. Has not been great for us at all this year, and that's a failure from Seattle for not playing their best running back and mixing in too much Charbonnet there. Aaron Jones against Dallas. I'm assuming it's Aaron Jones there. He hasn't been a high scorer this year. Chris Rodriguez with the Commanders going up against the Giants. He might put up a few points. That's a tough spot there because you got to start those two running backs. Obviously, CMC is a start if he's going. I'm probably leaning towards
Walker or Rodriguez. No, Aaron Jones against Dallas.
I don't know. That's a tough one. It is a toss up really between Jones, Walker, and Rodriguez, and then I would not start one of those guys in the flex. At wide receiver, Olave, Diggs, Jennings, Terry, and Godwin. Well, Godwin, you already missed out on that opportunity, so we're sitting down with Olave, Diggs. So I'm going Diggs. You're getting Mariota out there again for Washington. Yeah. So that kind of limits Scary Terry a little bit. Also, just a bad team.
Diggs, Olave, Jennings. There's your two wide receivers in your flex.
Yeah, probably Diggs, Olave, Jennings for me. Yeah. Hopefully that nails it for you. Now at tight end, I'm going Brenton Strange personally. Strange has looked good since coming back from injury, going up against a bad Jets team. So I like Strange there over Waller. Even though, I mean, Waller has been good for Miami in spurts, but since coming back from the injury, it hasn't been as gangbusters.
And then you got 49ers, Rams defense. That one's easy. That's the 49ers this week. They're playing the fucking Titans.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So, but we kind of talked about one of those teams, the Commanders, my man. You want to lead us into that next game?
Yeah, absolutely. Washington Commanders, after getting routed by my Minnesota Vikings, going up against the New York Giants. Giants favored -2.5 points over under a 46.5. For me, divisional matchup, this could be closer, but the way this Commanders team is playing is just really bad right now. It kind of seemed like they gave out their last effort versus the Broncos, and they kept them pretty close there up until the end. And then last week was just a disaster. Giants have a little bit more juice. They've got juice at the quarterback. They've got some juicier wide receivers, I feel like, in Wandale right now, like Wandale, Darius Slayton. Theo Johnson at tight end has been doing really good things for that Giants team. Him and Jackson Dart have been connecting quite a bit. I like the Giants in this one. I'm going to be going Giants on the money line. This could be a little bit of an ass game, but hopefully the Commanders give the Giants a run, kind of take a little bit out of them, because we got the Giants coming up here shortly for my Vikings, and I would like another easier dub there. But yeah, this Commanders team just looks like they are kind of down out. Nothing was really operating well for them in this one. So yeah, Giants money line for me.
The Commanders have kind of done what I think the Bengals should do. They just packed it in. We're probably not going to see Jaden Daniels again for the rest of the year. That he's re-injured in Mariota. So like he's done. Like they're done. They're going to pack this thing in. Whereas the Giants are still going to try to go out there, continue to play. Dart is still trying to progress week after week. So I got the Giants going money line here as well. The Commanders have had a really, really hard season, and they've kind of, like you said, they're not committed. They've packed it in. Their star quarterback is not playing for the rest of the year, and they're eliminated from playoff contention. So
yeah, for sure. Another question here from Country Boy Jazz. Thank you for subscribing or subbing. I appreciate that a lot. Mike brought up the point about Mahomes. and Mahomes having to play a little more than Purdy might not having to do as much because they should be in control of that game. I still kind of like Purdy playing in this one. Look, the Titans, they have been scrappy against some teams. Not going to mention game last week, but they've been scrappy against some teams. I don't think Kyle Shanahan's going to put them into a completely like idle mode. So I think Purdy will still put up some points, and against a bad defense, he'll have the capability to do that. Whether or not they'll have to do that for all 4 quarters is really the question. Now, if CMC does not play, then obviously it's got to go pass game, right? You have Brian Robinson Jr. starting at running back there, which if he's available in your league, maybe that's someone that you consider trying to find a spot for on your bench just in case CMC doesn't play, because I would consider starting Brian Robinson Jr. just as like a little bit of a surprise play over some of those other running backs that you have. If he's available as a free agent in your league and CMC doesn't play, it's kind of a decent handcuff there. But yeah, it really depends on game script. If you think this one's going to be close at all through the half, then maybe you want to play Purdy. But you are talking about a Chiefs team going up against the Chargers. They're going to have to put up a lot of points. So that's going to force them without much of a run game to probably be throwing the ball around a decent amount. So the safer play is probably Mahomes. But I still think Purdy has a potential to put up 20 points.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, Purdy can do and put up points. I'm very leery of starting that many guys from one team on a fantasy week, on any fantasy week, even if they're all badasses, because the likelihood that they're all going to go off and that defense is going, like, you're banking on a blowout, and that's really tough to bank on.
That's true. That's true. So, yeah, 49ers defense and stuff in there. I get it. Man, you sound a lot like our buddy, Joe Rockstar, who's a huge 49ers fan and just does nothing but stack his fantasy team with 49ers players a little bit.
Hell yeah.
I like that.
Hell yeah. All right, my man. I will preface the next one, but I'm going to let you pick first. We got my Browns going out to Chicago. Bears favored -7.5, over under 38.5. And it's going to be fucking frigid in Chicago. I believe the last time I looked at the weather for this projected game time temperature is going to be around 19 degrees. Real feel of like in the single fucking digits. So it is going to be brutal cold in fucking Chicago. Potential for high winds. Offense will not be big on the day. It would be my estimation. As is Vegas's with 38.5. My man, Evo, 7.5 is a lot of points. Talking about a low scoring game. Where are you going in this?
Yeah, this is a tough one. Browns injury report. You've got Joel Petonio is questionable. I don't know if you have any information about whether or not he's expected to play or not. Jack Conklin's going to be out. Malachi Corley doesn't get a ton of play, but he also questionable. Mason Graham with the ribs didn't practice 2 of the 3 days this week and was a limited participant on Friday, questionable. Aiden Huntington, going to be out. David Njoku out. Dylan Sampson out. Wyatt Teller out. Denzel Ward is out. Obviously, Deshaun Watson out. And then you have Cedric Tillman and Zach Zinter. Both are questionable for this game. Zach Zinter didn't practice Thursday or Friday this week. These are a lot of injuries for you guys. And you're going up against a Bears team that just went from first in the NFC to 6th seed in 1 week because of how testy it is there at the top of the NFC North. They are technically tied with Green Bay in wins, but Green Bay has that super, super limp-wristed tie. Shame on them. So, like, the Bears have a lot more to play for right now. Obviously, you guys are playing to see if you're going to have the same head coach going into next year, and obviously what you have in Shadur. But it's a bad environment to do that because of the weather. I'm going to be going Bears in this one. I think that they have a stronger running attack right now. It's dual-headed with Monangai and Swift. And technically Caleb Williams has some pretty decent scramble ability. I'm going to be going Bears on the money line with this one, though, because this could end up being a closer game, which would make you want to possibly take those 7.5 for the Browns. More than a touchdown in a lower scoring game sounds pretty nice. But the safer bet here for me is Chicago. on the money line.
So listen, I understand that is probably the safest way to go, but I feel like with Shadur at quarterback, we can be more efficient on offense. Like look at what he did last week. Now, granted, bad Titans team, but like if we can put up 20 points, I mean that's a pretty goddamn good day, especially if the weather's shit. We don't score a lot as it is, so we just need to keep this fucking thing close and make sure that the Bears don't get loose on us. 7.5 is a gift that I'm taking. I don't know that the Browns will win. The Browns see that I would love, honestly, and this I'm going to catch probably some shit from other Browns fans for this, but my perfect scenario for the rest of the Brown season is that the rookies look good, they stay healthy, Shadur looks good, and we play really competent football, but we lose every game for the rest of the way because Kevin Stefanski makes a stupid coaching decision. That's the best thing that could happen to the Browns organization. Guys progress, coach gets fired, we move on in a new era, and hopefully we go with, a group of young guys that continue to build this team, and we build around Shadur. I don't know if that's going to happen. But I am going to take the Browns plus the point.
All right. I feel it. And look, as a shameless Vikings fan, I understand that sometimes teams probably should tank. I don't want to see my team tank unless we are actually in that dire straits. We have too many talented players on our team to tank.
I'm not saying tank. I'm just saying let the natural thing that always happens happen. Let Kevin Stefanski make a dumb fucking decision that loses us the game.
I'm not even talking about your team. I'm talking about mine right now because we are still potentially able to get into the playoffs. And that requires the Bears to lose out. And so this would be obviously the first thing that needs to fall is the Bears losing. We also need the Lions to lose 3 of their 4 games, I believe, and some other stuff to happen in addition to the Vikings winning out. Do I think that we have a chance to go to the Super Bowl this year? Probably not, unless JJ all of a sudden, truly embodies Nueve. But it's probably not happening. But, it would make things a little bit more interesting. And again, I'm not one for my team in particular. I will prescribe this. Dr. Eva will prescribe it for other teams. I don't prescribe my team to lose out or tank for better picks because, our GM can't pick anyways. Unless it would help us get a Joe Burrow in-house, then you might be able to convince me, but we're not there yet. I get it, man. Low scoring, absolutely. 7.5 points doable in a low scoring game.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yes, producer Amber, I think it is like 2% chance. It's good enough for your milk, but it's not good enough for my Vikings. What the fuck? Jeez.
Jeez.
All right. Next up, Tennessee Titans dogged on them a little bit already, going up against the San Francisco 49ers. The bread and butter of Country Boy Jazz's team here, who is actually a Panthers fan. Ah, man, I feel for you, brother. Panthers.
Hey, they might make the fuck. They might win their goddamn division and make the playoffs.
Very true. The way that the Buccaneers played on Thursday night, the Panthers got something going. Either way, Titans, 49ers in this game. 49ers are favored minus 12.5 points, over under a 44.5. Expected to be a San Fran blowout in this one. And I do expect San Francisco to win. Obviously, the Titans are, they put up some against you guys last week. You guys have a really good defense. And that makes me question, did they burn themselves out in that one a little bit? And that was their last little poof of the year. Or are they going to try to play spoiler to some people or try to catch some people sleeping? I'm not going to drop the points for the 49ers, though they should beat the Titans by probably at least 2 touchdowns in this one. So 49ers on the money line for me.
Yeah, I'm going the same thing, man. 49ers on the money line. 12.5 is a lot. This is another one of those games, minus 900 on the money line. Probably stay away from this. Don't add this to the parlay. I could see maybe some points getting scored. I mean, the Titans did find a way to put up points against our team last week in the 49ers. I mean, 44.5, I could see maybe going over there. I just don't trust that enough. So I'm going to go 49ers on the money line as well. And my man, if you would not mind, will you preface the next one? I got to use the bathroom. That coffee running right through me.
All right. Make sure you sit down, wipe back to front, or no, front to back, front to back.
I can't hear what he's saying.
Yeah. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. He's a raw dog. He wipes however he wants. Sideways. Next up, good game here. Detroit Lions versus the LA Rams in Los Angeles. Jared Goff gets to return. Rams are favored in this one, minus 5.5 points at minus 118 odds, over under of 54.5. Lions currently sitting in third place in the NFC North, but they are technically only like a game back. They're 8-5 right now, and Green Bay leads the division at 9-3-1. So with a win here from Detroit and a loss from Green Bay, it really starts to get things clouded up there at the top of the NFC North, especially if Chicago goes out and gets a win this week. Then Chicago goes back up to that first place spot in the NFC North. So a lot of playoff implications. I feel like this is going to be the end of the year through this division. It's just going to be jockeying for who's able to actually take the division and who's looking at trying to eke into a wild card spot. So it's a big game for the Detroit Lions here, and they're getting 5.5 points. I like the Detroit Lions. I think they're a good team. Obviously good offense, but I love this Rams team. This Rams team has been fucking awesome. I think that they are probably the class of the NFC right now. They have MVP candidate Matt Stafford in there. Kyron Williams, obviously a really good running back, but they are seeing really good production out of Blake Corum. And it's truly becoming a two-headed backfield. Davante Adams and Puka Nacua have been a fantastic receiving duo. And then you get guys at tight end like Colby Hutchinson, who a couple years ago, you'd be like, who the fuck is that? He's showing up and becoming a good tight end for them as well. This team has a lot of juice. The defense is doing really good. And so for me, I'm going to be going with the Rams in this game. I need the Lions to lose out for my Vikings to possibly be getting there into the playoffs. But this one has the potential to be a little bit closer. But the way that the Rams have been playing, I like their game a lot. I think that they don't really have too much of a weakness on this team. And so for me, now that Mike is back, I'm going to go with the Rams in this game. Taking Rams on the money line.
Rams money line. Okay. Sorry, let me regroup here because this game is potentially really important to both of these teams. Rams lose, was it 2 weeks ago now? They come back last week. Lions have been kind of scuffling. They are on the outside looking into the playoffs still, if my memory serves correct.
Yeah, I kind of briefed that while you were gone. They are currently third in the NFC North. They are at 8-5. The other two teams ahead of them, the Bears and the Packers, both have 9 wins. Obviously, with the Packers in their super silly tie being in first place. But when you're looking at the actual NFC conference standings, the Lions are in the 8th seed right now. So they're outside looking in. And if they want a chance to possibly eke into the playoffs there, they do need to probably win out.
Yeah. And that sucks for the Lions because, you know, I love that Lions team. I think the loss of their coordinators really hurt them. But they are still a very talented team. They could completely shock me and win this game, but the Rams have been so fucking good, man. I mean, their receivers have been fantastic. Puka has been unbelievable the last few weeks. Davante, I think, could have a huge game potentially this week because of all the attention Puka is going to get. So I got to follow suit, man. I'm going Rams, money line. Could be a very fun game. Should be a fun game. Two really good offenses. Could be high scoring. But I got to go Rams, man. They just look like the better team.
Yeah. I actually, this Detroit team, while their offense can be really good, the defense still scares me quite a bit. Yeah. And it's not because of the injuries. It's just they've been underperforming. They haven't been as good. And I don't find a weakness on this Rams team right now. They are good everywhere. Class of the NFC. All right, next up, Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. Saints, home dogs, plus 2.5 points at plus 100 odds, ladies and gentlemen. Plus 100 odds. That doesn't happen too often here on a spread. Over under of 40.5 points. You can drop the 2.5 points for the Panthers at minus 122 odds. Mike, thoughts on this game?
So when I originally saw it, I was like, okay, yeah, makes sense. Saints are the dogs, Panthers leading the division. It would make sense that they're the favorites. But the fact that I can get points and even money was too hard for me to turn down. So this is not necessarily a football decision. This is a value bet decision. The Saints have been playing better. The Panthers have obviously been playing better, but it's not a team that I trust. Maybe Tyler Shuck is the truth. Maybe he's going to lead that team into the promised land. I don't think so. But I like 2.5 points and even fucking money. So I'm taking the value play, and I'm taking Saints plus 2.5.
Yeah. Saints obviously beat Tampa Bay last week. Tampa Bay's in a little bit of a weird spot. I think we both feel like Tampa Bay is a good team that's really underperforming right now, dealing with injuries and things like that. And the Saints they've been playing up to their opponents. Like kept it close with the Bucks and obviously won close with the Dolphins. Not so close. 14 spread versus the Falcons. But they did get a win 4 games ago versus the Panthers, 17-7 in Carolina. Divisional matchup, close game, and you're getting plus 100 odds to give me 2.5 points. I'm taking it. I have to. I liked Panthers in this game until I saw that, and I was like, well, fuck my butt. I'm good. I'm going for it. I also have to go New Orleans plus the 2.5 here.
Yeah, man. Listen, when they give it to you like that, and you bring up another great point, it's another divisional matchup. They're always close. Like the value's too good to pass up, but this could be Vegas setting us up. You never know.
Look, they tried to do it earlier to me, and I didn't fall for it, and they're going to do it here, and I'm right back again to get fucked over.
Yeah. Listen, I let them fuck me twice. The first wasn't good enough.
Yeah. Hedge your bets here a little bit.
No hedging, but we can talk about possibly hedging your team in this next game because that's our next matchup. We have got no, I don't. Man,
no, that's way.
I should go out of order.
Ways away.
Fuck, never mind. We're going to talk about another game. Ooh, this is another fun game. Packers go into Denver, and Denver's the home dog. Packers minus 1.5, over under 42.5. Packers back leading the division. Been up and down. They've played good football recently. Jordan Love played pretty good football in this last game. I don't know why people are talking about him in the MVP conversations, but they are where they are. Their record is what it is. Same thing with his Broncos team. Neither one of these teams has been convincing as a dominant division-leading team, but that's where they find themselves. Eva, where do you go in this one, man? Close spread. Kind of a toss-up here.
Yeah, I'm taking the Packers. I hate saying that. You know me. I hate saying that. I'm taking the Packers on the money line. I would even consider dropping the points here, but it is not much of a difference in how much money I make. Minus 122 odds on the money line or minus 110, dropping the 1.5. It's not worth the risk for me there. So I'm going to be taking the Packers on the money line to go on the road and get a win. Josh Jacobs, questionable to be playing. But we've seen Emmanuel Wilson and those guys be able to step up and still perform well in his stead. This Broncos team is one of the more faulty teams as far as having an 11-2 record. Their last 2 games, which were both wins, Raiders and Commanders, and they did not blow either of them out. The Commanders took them to overtime. All right. The Chiefs, underperforming team, but they play every team that they go up against. They lost and went 22-19. So they played what's perceived as a better team, but realistically, they're an underperforming team as well. and or beat them by 3 points. The Raiders, again, they beat them by 3 points the week prior to that, 10-7. I can go on. That's basically their entire win streak here. They have one blowout versus the Cowboys, 44-24. Like, I don't see it, man. Like, the Broncos, they're my wife's team. All props to them for being 11-2 right now.
Yeah.
But I do think that it is probably one of the more false 11-2s out there. And this Packers team, they will play people close, but it's Toyotathon, man.
Yeah.
It's Toyotathon. It is what it is. So Packers on the money line.
Packers money line. I'm going the opposite way, man. I am taking the Broncos on the money line. One thing that Bo Nix is really good at is the quick game. That's something that I think that they're going to utilize a lot in this game to slow down that pass rush of Michael Parsons and this Packers defense. They've been doing a really good job of getting after people. That's one of the reasons the Packers have been kind of making this uptick. Micah has been out there and causing a lot of fucking havoc. But one thing that Bo Nix has been great at, and I think Sean Payton has more than enough capability of drawing up, is a quick game to get the ball in playmakers' hands. They have guys that they can get the ball in their hands quick, and they can make things happen after the catch or out on the edges. I mean, we saw R.J. Harvey. He's not really a running back per se. He's a guy that you want to catch it out of the backfield anyways. So I think that game plan, if that is the one that they go with, now obviously I don't know. I'm not in that fucking locker room, but I think that's the one that they should go with. And if they execute it, they can win this fucking game because they will slow everything down. Clock will run. There won't be a shitload of points. And then their really good defense can save Bo Nix again.
Now, I said that I didn't feel like it was worth the risk to go from minus 110 odds of dropping the points for Green Bay to minus 122 for the money line. But it's minus 110 odds to give Denver those points, or plus 104 to just take them on the money line. So are you expecting them to win this one? Are you going for the big bucks there?
I think they're going to win this thing.
All right.
So I'm going to take the plus odds.
All right. Fair enough. And look, if you're going to go with Denver, you might as well take them to win the game. A point and a half, isn't that crazy? We're not seeing too many games that are 29-28, things like that, like we did on Thursday night. So usually it's going to be a larger spread. That spread is relatively inconsequential at this point. So yeah, all right, makes sense. Denver on the money line. Next up, Indianapolis Colts, led by Phillip Rivers, who just got activated to the active roster, pushed back his potential of getting into the Hall of Fame by another 5 years, versus the Seattle Seahawks. In Seattle, the line is Seahawks minus 13.5 and minus 115 odds. You can take Seattle Seahawks on the money line for minus 1,200 odds if you're feeling really frisky. Over under a 41.5. I suppose the real frisky play would be to take the Colts to win this one. That's plus 750 odds. You can really get up on some winnings there if you want to take that one. But it is Phillip Rivers, 44 years old, and 4 days, something like that, going up against this really good Seahawks defense, pretty solid Seahawks offense. So the Rams were the class of the NFC. Seahawks are not too far behind, in my opinion. Interesting game here. It'll be fun to watch. Like, at worst, this is the best thing for the Colts. The Colts go out at the trade deadline. They trade for Sauce Gardner. They see him for one game, and then he's hurt. They give a first-round pick for him.
Yeah.
And then you got Daniel Jones, who's having a great year, and broken fibula, and then, blew his Achilles out. And the season looks absolutely lost. You're in third place when you're riding high for most of the year. And you put Phillip Rivers in there. And now you're like, well, like, worst case is going to be fun. Like, I've forgotten that we don't have Daniel Jones anymore. We're the Colts. We're used to not being good.
Yeah.
Like, at least now we can not be good and have it be fun instead of Anthony Richardson going out there and fucking airmailing balls and shit like that, or Riley Leonard, running.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fun matchup there, at least.
I'm pumped to see Phillip play, man. I have no idea how this is going to look.
It could be watch football.
It could be a catastrophe. This could be the worst thing that he's ever decided to do. Or it could be the fucking coolest thing that's ever happened that this motherfucker has been out of football for that long. And then, you know what? He's just running the same offense, coaching it. So he's like, yeah, I can still hop in here and sling it around for a little bit. Like, imagine if they call a game plan where he throws this pitch 30 times.
Look, if they condense themselves, they don't try to do a deep passing attack to save the old man's arm. Running game plus little short dump offs and let your playmakers, of which you have plenty of them on offense, get the ball. I mean, it's not inconceivable that this could be a lot closer than 13.5 points.
I agree. And the Seahawks are fucking really good, man.
Are we both doing this?
Yeah.
Are we both going fucking Colts plus 13.5?
13.5. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Give me Phillip Rivers keeping this bitch close and just having a great story. They're not going to win this game. I don't think there's a fucking snowball's chance in hell that they win this thing. But Phillip Rivers is not going to go out there and get his dick kicked in after missing all this time away. He's going to at least make this team somewhat competitive.
Look, the safe play, ladies and gentlemen, the safe play. If you're just picking games, who's winning, who's losing, go with the Seahawks. It's your safest bet. But we're here for a little bit of fun. So let's do the 13.5 fucking points. Maybe the old man's got something in him. Like, either going to hear a lot of dang it's and Jiminy Crickets, or we might hear some happy Jiminy Crickets. We just did it.
Oh my gollies.
That would be fucking cool. It's the must-watch football game of the afternoon, potentially.
Yeah. You're going to potentially watch a geriatric get fucking assaulted. But
it's either you watch like a truly potentially competitive game between the Lions and the Rams, or you watch the Colts and the Seahawks to see if Phillip Rivers has any juice left in him. And if you ask his wife, he's got a lot of juice.
All the juice.
He's got all the juice. 13 kids worth of juice.
He has a son who is like fucking graduating college, right?
Older than Riley Leonard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Older than his backup quarterback.
That's absurd.
Look, technically, the Chargers let Phillip Rivers retire as a Charger. This like within the last year. And they flew Rivers out with all of his old teammates and everything to hold a whole retirement ceremony. All right. And he said, after less than a year of technically being retired, fuck them kids. I don't want to be at home anymore. Let me play some fucking football.
Left the game, man. Him and Tom Brady just said, fuck it. Fuck the family. Let's play the game. But here's the difference is that Phillip is not going to walk away from all of his kids, because they would literally drain his entire bank account in child support payments. He's got like 14 fucking kids.
Yeah. Look, if things go well, more might be on the way. Who knows? Yeah. The other thing, fun anecdote about Phillip Rivers, a couple years ago, San Francisco 49ers had a little bit of a situation going on. They had drafted a really high first-round pick quarterback in Trey Lance, who was having some injury problems. And then they had this 7th rounder in a guy named Brock Purdy that they felt good about, but they didn't know what was going to be going on with their season. Shanahan was in contact with Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers was in team meetings on Zoom without the other players knowing. Shanahan had an agreement with Phillip Rivers and said, hey, we feel good about this young kid that we got here, this late round pick. But if things start to kind of go awry, we want you in the loop, and we would love to have you come out here and play. And he said, all right. So he was in install meetings and stuff like that, all the Zoom meetings. So this was 2 years ago, but he's kept himself apparently in somewhat of football shape through the years where he could potentially make a comeback. And he was just waiting to jump on it. The guy knows a fertile environment when he sees one. And there was one there with the Colts. And so, look, it's fun times here.
Phillip has 10 kids, and apparently he's a grandpa.
That we know of. 10 that we know of.
Yeah.
This guy
Have
sits
we
on a
ever had
toilet seat and you sit on it after him, you might get pregnant.
Have we ever had a grandfather play a game in the NFL? Like somebody who's been a grandfather? I feel
Tyreek
like we
Hill
would
would
have
probably be the
heard.
closest. Daryl Revis. I don't know. That's got to be something that, like, back in the day,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you have your Sammy Baws and shit like that who are fucking playing.
Playing until 45, having
Yeah.
kids. They were
Then
fucking,
again, you have more classic, American values of, like, get the white picket fence, marry, settle down, then start to have kids when you're like 35. I don't know. That's a decent question, and I'm sure producer Amber is probably fucking hot to trot on it to find out how many grandpas have played in the NFL.
I feel like it cannot be a lot.
Yeah, it's true. All right. We've had enough fun with this game. We can move on to our Sunday night football game.
Let's do it, brother. Go ahead.
All right. It is my Minnesota Vikings going down to Dallas versus the Cowboys. Cowboys are favored at home, -6.5 points, -102 odds, over under a 47.5. This one is, we talk a lot about Dallas this year about how they are a bad team or just a bad defense and how they've gotten better. And then that offense has the ability to be very highly potent. You have CeeDee Lamb coming off of concussion protocol, will be playing in this game. So they do have their full complement there on offense. And then for my Vikings, it looks like we are basically going to have our full complement on both sides of the ball as well, including Nueve, who had himself a pretty solid game last week, not statistically very gangbusters, but good enough to win, running a much more subdued game script, a lot more running the ball, a lot more, easy reads. A lot of talk this week about pure progression and what that is. And I had to get very educated on exactly what it meant. And it's just more or less common lingo for the common man thrown around, but there's a lot more to it, obviously, and more the old school quarterbacks, or what you would even call like some of the greatest quarterbacks ever, such as Peyton Manning and
Kurt
Tom
Warner.
Brady and Kurt Warner, definitely a great quarterback.
Hates pure progression, man. He talks about it all the time. Fucking hates it.
He does. But it takes a certain specific type of quarterback to be able to not do pure progression. It's one of those guys that can tell exactly what the defense is doing before the ball is ever snapped. And I wouldn't expect JJ to be there, nor do I expect 90 to 95% of the league to be able to do that. Pure progression at its simplest form is each receiver has a number, usually going left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you just run through those numbers. But there's a lot more intricacies to it. Sometimes it splits the field based off of what center field defenders are doing, things like that. I would highly suggest you get on the YouTube, look at the breakdowns of what pure progression are to understand it a little bit more. I'm not too concerned with that overall. I'm concerned with, can the Vikings keep pace with this Dallas offense? Dallas has the capability of putting up a lot of points. They, I mocked them a lot to having a team structure like the Cincinnati Bengals. Bad defense, really good offense. Their defense has gotten a little bit better here. This Dallas team is not the Washington Commanders of last week. So this is going to be a tough one for my Vikings. Mike, where are you thinking about going in this game?
So with the fact that you guys could get your running game going has been is going to be a big asset. We talked about Aaron Jones a little bit earlier in the show, in the fantasy aspect, but he's still got some juice. If you guys can get the running game going, you help JJ, obviously. And I've been trying to keep track of Vikings Twitter as well, obviously, because you're in there. But Vikings Twitter is very much up in our like, fuck JJ McCarthy because now we have to run the ball and play defense. Well, every team needs to be able to run the ball and play defense. If you expect everything to be done through the quarterback, you better have somebody who is incredibly special, because that's not how shit works. If you guys can continue that game script of getting the running game going, I think you guys can keep this thing close. Not can you win? I don't know. Dallas has kind of hit a nice little groove, and they've been on a roll. And with their full complement on offense, they're explosive. You guys have had really good games on defense, but you guys have also had some games where you've given up a shitload of points. I think it's potential that we could see a lot of points in this game from both teams if you get the running game going and JJ can work off the play action. Because at some point, that connection between him and fucking Jettas is going to hit. Like, that is going to happen at some point. He just has to learn, not to juice it too much. He's got to let him run under it. And Justin Jefferson's got to keep his goddamn feet. But I'm leaning towards you guys. I'm going you guys plus 6.5. I don't know if you guys can win, but I know that you guys could keep it close, assuming you don't have one of those crazy defensive games where, they just pick you apart. It's been really interesting to see with your defense because I love B-Flow. He's had games where the game plan is just perfect, where you guys shut people all the fucking way down. And then some where the blitz never gets home and your guys are exposed all over the place.
Yeah. To me, this game comes down to Brian Flores and the defense. Can the Vikings defense stymie that Dallas offense at all? It is Dak Prescott this year is a top 3 quarterback against the blitz. He has done very well against the blitz. But I think that it would be a little bit simplistic to say that Brian Flores likes to blitz a lot. He does. He brings pressure a shitload, but it is very unique setups, bringing people from all over the place. It is meant to confuse the quarterback less than it is to bring pressure on the quarterback. And that's kind of one of his secret sauces. If the defense does what they've done in weeks past, more recent weeks past, and they are able to keep that offense locked down like they did versus some pretty good teams, the offense just has to kind of keep pace with Dallas to keep this one close. I'm also going to go Vikings plus 6.5. Obviously, I have hope that they can win the game. I want to see continued progression from JJ McCarthy. We saw what the offense can be last week at its kind of most simplest form. And you have to slowly add pieces in order to watch him progress and to get a good read going into the offseason. I don't expect us to come in with the same game script that we had last week. I expect it to be simplified for sure, but I think that they need to start to open things up a little bit more, not have it be a lot of first read stuff, which Kevin O'Connell did a great job last week of having first read guys get schemed open. But when those guys weren't open, JJ did a really good job last week of finding his second or third reads. They need to start to expand a little bit more. And this is a team that you probably will have to expand and get a little bit more aggressive with, especially if they start putting up a lot of points. So I will also take my Vikings plus the points here. Little bit of a homer pick because I do want to see them win. I don't want to see the lose out. I cannot, in good conscience, take the Vikings to win the game because the good conscience play would just be to take Dallas at home to win. But I will take the Vikings plus the 6.5.
Understood, man. Listen, I feel it. I understand the reservations because I felt a little bit the same way about my Browns. I felt a little bit better. I just got the extra point, and our weather is going to be shit. But I understand the reservations, but going with your boys for sure. That's going to take us to our Monday night game, though. Dolphins going up to Pittsburgh, playing in the cold. Dolphins, the Dogs, plus 3 points over under, minus 41.5. Dolphins prove that they can win in a cold weather game. Can they do it 2 weeks? Is it 2 weeks in a row now? They would have done that, or where did they play last week? I think it was. I don't remember if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, but they won a fucking cold weather game this year. Finally, Tua's won a cold weather game. Can the Dolphins keep their wild season alive? Because they're still technically fighting for a fucking playoff spot with their current run. And I mean, the Steelers obviously fighting for their division lead. They get a huge win last week on the Ravens. They got to keep winning, though. Where are you going in this one, man?
All right, some fun statistics for this. Steelers have won 22 straight home Monday Night Football games. Last time they lost was 1991. There are no current players on the Dolphins who were alive the last time the Steelers lost a Monday night game at home, which is wild. That means they're due, right?
I mean, either hot or you're due.
That means they're due, right? Look, if Tomlin gets another win, they are getting too close to not having that like near 500 record.
Yeah.
Right. They are currently 7-6, 8-6. That means that they kind of have to lose out or at least lose 2 of the next 3 after this one in order to keep that ratio correct, to keep them just barely middling at nearly 500. Give me the Dolphins plus points.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, because I thought I was going to be the only asshole that did it.
They're due.
I also am taking the Dolphins plus 3.5. Or plus 3 points. I wish it was 3.5. 3.5 would sound a lot better. Man, listen, the Steelers, they got a much needed win. But that team is old. That team is banged up. And now I understand this Dolphins team is fucking flying by the seat of their pants. You have no idea what to expect week in, week out with this Dolphins team, it feels like. But that's also kind of how I feel about this Steelers team. I'm just riding a plum pick here. I want the points. Give me the 3 points in the Dolphins.
Yeah, look, Dolphins have been playing better ball. I tried to look for some props for at least 1-2 interception. Couldn't find it. But I feel like that's out there somewhere in the ether. So if you're able to find it, it's probably a good one because they tend to fucking throw at least 1 pick. But I don't know. Dude, again, I don't like the Steelers team. Hopefully there's a correction from the officiating from last week where they're not getting bogus calls, because I really felt like the Ravens should have won that one and that they got screwed. Got to keep this AFC North nice and tight at the top. So a Steelers loss would be nice. The Dolphins winning, while it doesn't fit with my narrative of them being one of the worst teams in the league, I think that they've been doing decent lately. And you know, Devon Achane looks like he's going to play this game. So yeah, Dolphins plus the points. The Steelers are due for a Monday night loss.
Fuck yeah, I would love to see it. That would be fantastic. Aaron Rodgers losing on Monday night to the goddamn Dolphins. Oh, that'd be so good. And then maybe him and Mike McDaniels can go down and do some ayahuasca.
Put it in my veins.
My man. All right. So that is all of our picks, but we got one more bet because our boy Blitz came through with another big ass parlay.
Yeah. So Blitz's big bet for the week. It's a little bit of an old dog bet because we got Phillip Rivers. 1 or more passing touchdowns plus 108 odds. We're riding on a fun game here, folks. We're expecting it to be fun, get a little wild. Hopefully Phillip Rivers has a little bit of juice left in him, is able to get at least 1 passing touchdown. With all the weapons out there, they can't just run the ball all day. So there's got to be some passing. The potential for one of those guys to be able to, whether it's in the red zone or a deeper shot, break out, get a touchdown, it's there. Plus 108 odds feels kind of nice. Davante Adams, 70 or more receiving yards. Look, he's been a huge part of this offense. It looks to be a potentially high-scoring game versus, 2 offenses that are really good there with Detroit and the Rams. And Davante's been a huge part of that offense. So him getting 70 versus kind of that paltry secondary for the Lions, we like that here at plus 116 odds. And then James Cook getting an anytime touchdown, getting back on track. You got the Bills in that game. I got the Bills in that game, and they need a healthy dose of James Cook for that, because when they've been a winning team, James Cook is getting in the end zone. So James Cook, anytime touchdown, minus 110 odds. That gives us plus 757 odds. This is another big one here from Blitz. It's the holiday season. He's trying to earn you a little bit more money to buy the kids some extra presents, or maybe something else for mommy or daddy. Put a little bit on there. If you can do it, bet responsibly. He's trying to win you some money here with some big odds.
Hell yeah. I like this bet a lot. Man, seeing Phillip Rivers throw a touchdown pass is going to be one of the more crazy things that happens.
It feels inevitable, man. It feels inevitable.
And it's going to be a cool fucking story, and hopefully we can cash in on it.
Yeah, the odds for 2 or more touchdowns for Phillip Rivers were pretty high. I would imagine. That one felt good. I was like, wow, I could throw 50 cents on this and make like fucking $4.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Yeah. Oh, man. Phillip, I wish him the best of luck, man. I hope it works out. I'm a little nervous for him, though.
Yeah, but it'd be pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool to see the Colts sneak into playoffs with a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers.
Really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But all right, man. There it is. There's all the picks for today. I'm sitting at 53.3% on the year. You are at 58.6%. You have a much better record. Mine is still respectable, but I would like to see that go up. Last week was not a banger week for me. First week that I was sub 500 in quite a while. I need to turn that around. And my man, you kind of have to hit big, or at least at a pretty decent clip. Otherwise, you're losing at this point of the year with how much of a start you got. But we got a lot of games that we agree on here. Some of them are crazy. Fucking Indy plus 13.5. I wasn't sure that you were going to go with it.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a little bit. There's some plum picks in here. There's some fuck Vegas picks in here. There's some let's have fun picks in here. It's a mixed bag, but that's kind of the fun of picking games each and every week.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, man. Evo, my man, I appreciate you. And to everybody who tuned in, we appreciate you guys. Time is the most valuable thing that you have. So anytime that you give some of it to us, we are forever grateful. With that, I'm going to give my man Evo one last word. Then we're going to get the fuck out of here until Tuesday when we are back recapping this week and see how we did on all those picks. But my man Evo, go ahead.
Look, thank you for everyone who tuned in, watching us tonight, late on a Saturday night. We really appreciate you. It's the holiday seasons. Thank you for giving us some of your time and some of your thoughts on all of the stuff that we're doing here, Raw Dog Sports and the No Sleeves Network. Again, we got some blogs out there. We appreciate everyone for the love and support that you guys are giving us. Those are great gifts. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in, watching, and supporting us as we continue to venture forward.
Absolutely. Evo, well said, my man. Guys, thank you very much. I'm Mike. That is Evo. This is Raw Dog Sports. We're getting the fuck out of here. We'll see you on Tuesday. See ya.